This is Joe's Corner 76. I will be commenting on the human condition. To change the human condition, we need to be engaged. I would love to hear from you. Have you changed since the pandemic? From the way you are? Are you going to go back to the way you were? We know about mortality. We always have. But now we've just realized how frail life is. When we look at our lives, we've now had an opportunity to be very close with our loved ones. People you spend time with now. I think some of us have reached a conclusion. There's some people we really want to spend time with, and maybe we've learned there are some people that just don't belong in our lives. We've been busy, so we never saw the signals. But with the close proximity, they become very clear. I think all of us have to take a lot of thought about our relationships. In the closeness, we've now had a chance to see how our children are, how they behave, what their attitudes are, without both of us going to work, without babysitters. There's been direct contact. Has it given you some thought that maybe you should be spending more time with your children and less time at work? Do you finally realize that maybe your most important job is parenting? We've listened to the number of deaths because of COVID-19. The vast majority have been old people. Have you had some thoughts about what's happened to them? Have any of you been affected directly by deaths of a loved grandparent, uncle, parent? Have you given thought to the fact that these people were warehoused? We've been told constantly that there's problems in nursing homes, crowding, not enough workers, not enough protective equipment. What have we done with it? Situation. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Are you now going to insist, absolutely insist, that frailer, older people be given the chance to live in dignity, the chance to stay alive? Are you going to ask the politicians, let's improve these conditions? Are you going to remember our first responders? Everyone now is saying they're heroes. Everyone knows how much we need them. Are you still going to feel this way after the pandemic? Are you going to make sure this time around that the hospitals are prepared, that these people have enough protective equipment, that we have the capacity to test large numbers of people and get accurate results? Or are you just going to go back to the way things were? We were warned in 2013, we were warned in 2009. We did nothing. Don't let it happen again. Politics. Have you seen how the pandemic was handled? Do you have any thoughts on it? Do you think we could have been better prepared? Do you think that after it's over, we're going to need to have an inquiry into what happened, why they didn't respond sooner? What could we have done? Are you going to say to your politicians, We weren't prepared. We didn't have enough equipment. We didn't have enough money. We didn't have enough people. We didn't have enough health capacity. We want you to know. We just want you to know we're mad as hell. And we never want it to happen again. Are you going to insist that personal protective equipment be made in Canada, stocked in Canada, and replaced when necessary by material made in Canada? Are you going to say to the politicians, we no longer want to rely on the world market. We found it ineffective. We want quality equipment made by us for us. Have you had an opportunity to hear how many people have to use food banks now? How many people could have faced eviction if the law hadn't been changed? How close so many people are to homelessness. For many, it's just one paycheck away. Are you concerned about how frail the support system is for many people? Yes, we've had a lot of economic programs put in place, but they're going to cease. Are we going to put something in place of them? Each of you have now had an opportunity to look at your personal finances. Are you going to change the way you do things? Have you found out that maybe some of those old-time sayings of put some aside for a rainy day have some value? Have you maybe started to realize that credit can be a good thing, but it also can be something that bears you? Are you going to change? Will you be the kinder person you've been during this pandemic? Will you look at your fellow man in the same way after the pandemic is over? Will you still be concerned about the homeless? Will you still be concerned about the people who have food banks? Will you be interested in having a complete change in society? We have shown what we can do in the face of a common enemy. It's one common enemy that everybody can be affected by. But we have a number of common enemies that never go away. Child hunger, poverty, homelessness, drug addiction, mental health. In this time of pandemic, we are seeing the cracks in society, I believe, like we've never seen before. So I'm asking you, are you going to change? Do you want a different type of Canada? Or are you just going back to the status quo until the time that it happens again? We have a unique opportunity here to, on a forward-looking basis, change our society permanently to a kinder, more caring society. We have an opportunity now to tell politicians that our health system has to be changed. It's not working the way it should. We now have an opportunity to think about the old people, our elders, our frail people, about how they should be treated. We now have an opportunity to change it. I'm kind of saying that the pandemic has changed us. It's given us an insight into our personal lives, an insight into what happens in society, an insight into what we can do if we want. It's given us the chance now, one chance, to get a lot of things right, so that if another pandemic happens, and I promise you it will, whether it's natural or man-made, we have the opportunity to change. I think each and every one of us now should start to realize we are lucky. We are lucky to be alive. We are lucky to have enough to eat. We're lucky to have first responders to save our lives, truck drivers in supermarkets to feed us. We should now realize how frail life is. We should start realizing that now is all we have. What we do now is what's going to affect us tomorrow, when we get to tomorrow. But in order to get to tomorrow, we have to change today. I'm asking each and every one of you to think about it. Are you going to be the same after the pandemic's over? Or are you going back to the way things were? You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Joe's Corner 76.